Well, gosh, I mean, I don't have much to say other than I'm proud of our effort to fight back and win the game. UMKC is significantly better than obviously last year. They have so many weapons. UMKC is they're a team, and they're a team. They're only going to get better. So that's a great win for us. I guess I'm glad we caught them early, because late, that's going to be a really difficult team to play because they just have so many weapons. I was pleased with how we fought back in the second half. Trey started getting it going a little bit, started being a little bit more aggressive. I just felt like defensively, I thought we were fine. Offensively, felt like we were soft at the rim, and we took some bad shots, and we all can pinpoint where those shots came from. Too many offensive rebounds given up, not enough offensive rebounds in our favor. It's just a really good basketball team that we played, and a really good basketball game to be in. But give our guys credit and give our fans credit. What a great environment that was tonight. We had to yell at the top of our lungs and couldn't deliver messages to our guys. It was so loud in here, and I think hopefully that's a sign of the times to come.
Dane, can you talk a little bit about, I guess, Peck's effort the last 5 minutes of regulation, and also the significance of him flipping the possession clock or possession arrow twice?
Well, I thought John, it's funny, in the beginning of the second half, we cut it to 2, and John gives up 2 offensive rebounds. And I look at him, he says it won't happen again. And it didn't happen again. I thought John just did an outstanding job, made some huge free throws down the stretch. It still amazes me how John is a Division I player. I mean, he's not a bad player, but he can't run, can't jump. But it's a classic case of a you're going to make fun of me, but it's a classic case of a Seabiscuit type. I mean, he just does the unbelievable, and it's hard to keep him off the floor. He's just a unique kid that has supreme confidence in himself and goes out and plays as such. And again, he's not the best athlete, not the best of anything, but he finds his way onto the basketball floor, and I have to keep him in order to win basketball games.
And then a little bit about Flack's effort on Kuznart.
Well, Zach's a warrior, and I say this every year, but we brought Zach in because we thought he could get us a lot of offense, and he's really become exceptional offensively. But what we didn't expect is that he was such a warrior, and I think ultimately Zach is, another guy that every coach loves to have because he does everything you ask. And there's never a question, it's okay. And the difference between some kids and Zach, though, is Zach has the guts to improvise in some situations. And usually it's the right play, where some kids are so brain-locked that they can't make those special plays. But Zach does, because he has the wherewithal to improvise, although he is a kid that does everything we ask.
It looks like for the long time during the game, he had 4 guards on the floor, essentially.
Well, Gaines is long enough and athletic enough to play the 4, and Jason is 6'7", legitimately, and long. And, we just felt like when they went small, Trey, had a tough time guarding people, although Trey did. He gave up 3 threes in the first half, but I thought it was pretty good defense. But that's the reason we went small. It's just because, we didn't have anybody for Trey to guard. But, I'm starting to rethink, if Johnson doesn't hit 3 straight threes to get him back in the game in the first half, I think Trey can hold his own out there, because he's become not such a liability, because he's pretty dang good on offense. But he just didn't have a good first half. I think he airbanked the layup and got pinned twice on the backboard until he started taking it strong.
Coach, talk about free throws. You missed 10 in the first half. It's kind of looking like the old cliche.
10 in the first half.
Or in regulation, sorry. 10 in regulation. And it looks like, it's one of those games where you make your free throws, you win the game. And then you make 12 or 14 in overtime.
Really? Well, I think at halftime, first and foremost, we we just told our guys we got to go stronger to the basket, and I don't think we had any problems with making layups in the second half, and that allowed us to get more free throws. With that said, we're kind of making a transition in terms of how we shoot our free throws. I'm tired of being in the 60s and 70s every year, so it's like Tiger changing his swing. We're going to try to change our free throws up, and they're working with a new coach, and that's me instead of themselves. And we're working on that aspect of our game. So I don't expect to be 100% anytime soon, but I do expect our results to continually improve.
Coach, it was night and day defensively in the first half. What was said at halftime, and what were the defensive adjustments made at halftime?
Do we go zone? Tom, there really wasn't. It's just a matter of, gosh, they were 7 for 12 from the 3-point line. 3 were with a guy right in their face, Trayon Johnson, and 1 was Kuznard, popping that one when Gaines did whatever he did, and he shot it from double MBA. So I felt like 12 points there were, gosh, they're gonna, and they didn't make them in the second half, so that was part of it. Otherwise, it's just, guys, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to start out 1-0 in the league? And still to the end, it was 2 teams playing pretty dang good basketball, and it could have went either way. But Ben makes some big shots. Trey makes some big shots. We make some final stands, and I thought that was the difference was our ability to rebound the ball at the end.
Well, you talk about rebounding, and really you have to view it, I would assume, from a team standpoint. Everybody's got to rebound. Your 6'10" player grabbed 1 rebound, and that was at the buzzer at the end of the game, or into regulation. So when you talk to the guys about the importance of everybody getting in there and rebounding, just what's your message as far as that?
Well, I think for us, it's don't let your man get it, and when it comes into your area, go get it. And the problem with Trey is he spent a lot of time out away from the basket, so he's blocking out his big guy when they take shots or drive to the rim, and that's for the Plackmeyers, the Mixons, the Bots to come in and help him, and the Gaines. And if you look at Bots, who's the smallest guy on the floor, gets 6 rebounds. Peckinpah, gets 9 because he's more fleet of foot, and then Gaines got his 7. Plackmeyer with 3. So I think that's a part of it. But I think our issue is get your man, take care of your man first. Don't worry about the basketball. Get your man, and the basketball will fall in our lap.
Gaines didn't play. I know he played sporadically there at the very, very end. But he probably was on the bench for, 10 or 11 minutes, including the overtime. What was the thought process there? Just Jeremy was playing well?
Jeremy was playing well, but it's 2 issues with Gaines. The first one is concentration on defense. Missed assignment. He's got to do a better job. And I think ultimately with that one, it's Gaines still being new. He's new to everything still. He didn't get a lot of time last year. So he's got to get better at those. And then the second thing is we felt like we were rushing shots, and we felt like we needed to get somebody in there with a more calm presence. And I felt like Brandon was getting a little too over anxious. And I think that just comes with experience. And Brandon's he's going to be a great player for us. He is a great player for us, and you can bet he'll be in the starting lineup, and we'll be sending him at guys on Saturday. But I think ultimately Brandon just needs to continue to get his feet wet and get comfortable.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just on Gaines, did he have kind of some tired legs? I know they were stretching.
He was cramping. Okay. That's probably part of it. Trying to get back in the flow, probably rushing some things.
Your bench in the first half really didn't provide a whole lot. They were killed offensively, didn't rebound, turned the ball over. But second half was really another story to that. They were very valuable in a lot of ways. What do you want from your bench?
I want smart play. I mean, like you said, Tom, our bench ultimately, unfortunately, has the ability to make us or break us. and we're too inconsistent. And as a coach, I've got to know who coming off our bench is going to be solid for us. And at this point, we know we have some guys that can do some great things, but we also know that I've got to get confidence in them, and they're getting it. I'm really confident that they're getting it. They're understanding their roles, and they got to keep fighting because we've got some guys that are close to starting, very close. But what's keeping them is either the other guy's playing better or I don't have full confidence. So I think it's just playing smart and not missing a beat, because the other thing is we have the ability to get better off the bench. You throw Mixon in there, you throw Smithers in, you throw Oleg in there, Boyd, who's hobbling right now. We've got a chance to get better off the bench. So that's the other side of it. But I've just got to get confidence in those guys and continue to get confidence.
My last question, I know these kind of games give you chest pains while they're occurring, but does it help your team down the road that you've experienced something like this? Even if you didn't win it tonight, is it a valuable experience?
I hope it is. I think the problem, Tom, is, as I told our team, everybody is tough in this league. And we can go on down the line. Well, Southern Utah was, they finish 9th last year. Centenary finished 10th. Well, Southern Utah, overtime game here, I think. Centenary beat us twice. Western Illinois, we beat twice, but they were really, really tight games. UMKC, tight games. South Dakota State, tight. Every game for us is a UMKC. They're going to be tight games, and like I said, it could have went either way. I think I'm just thankful that we were home and we had our fans. We've got to play better, no question about it. But get ready, because they're going to be tight. I mean, Saturday's going to be no different. It's going to be a tight one. These guys are big and strong, and they can score in many different ways. Roger Reed's a great coach. You can bet they're going to be setting us to death, and it's not going to be easy because we're going to be outsized everywhere on the floor.
You might have talked about this already. How big of a win is this for you guys this early in the season?
Well, I think it's big from the standpoint that it's the start of the league. Any win's big for us. We had our first winning season in 20 years last year, and we're trying to beat that. So every win's huge. Doesn't matter who we're playing. But I do think we do want to set the tone in the league if we're looking far ahead in conference seeding, tournament seedings, league tournament seedings. We're looking, that's some really good motivation. And I think our guys understand the magnitude of what's going on.